Erik and Tianna, and welcome to our very special Halloween edition of Table It.
That's right. So on the internet you can find many Halloween dishes to make that are going to be desserts or any type of a sweet Halloween treat. Do you like our costumes, by the way?
I think we went all out by sticking a hat and a mustache on.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
What are you supposed to be?
I don't know. Fake mustache.
Oh, okay.
Incognito?
Incognito, okay, I like it.
With that. So what we're going to do instead is do more of an adult style Halloween dish. We are doing a pumpkin stuffed ravioli with a clarified butter and sage sauce. Kids, I don't know, they might be into it.
Maybe not.
This is definitely maybe if you're going for the Halloween romantic evening. This will definitely wow. It's a bit of a twist though, because we're going to be coloring our ravioli black. So that's really the Halloween, the pumpkin and
the orange, the black.
Right.
See where we're going with this?
All right, just follow along, try and keep up.
So the ingredients we're going to need for our black and orange pumpkin ravioli are 2 cups of flour. We've got 3 eggs, salt and pepper, nutmeg.
Look at that lonely nut in there.
We've got some unsalted butter that we're going to make clarified butter, Parmesan, we've got sage leaves, and some type of squash.
Yes.
I'm not sure what kind this is. Eric will have to. As we consult the label.
It is a buttercup squash.
A buttercup squash.
From Ontario, actually, from Elmer, Ontario.
We try to go local as much as possible, so this is an Ontario squash. We're going to roast this down and use this for a filling. Now, typically, if you were going to do a black pasta or pasta, whatever you want to call it, you would use something like cuttlefish ink or squid ink. Couldn't find any.
Yeah, it's tough to get.
You don't really want to go searching for something that's too far outside of your local zone, so we opted for black food coloring. So this is just black gel paste that you would use if you dyed a cake or frosting. We're going to try and make this work with our pasta. So let's get started. Whoa. What happened with the mustache here?
What are you talking about? It was too much.
Too much
going on. Yeah.
So what are you now?
Charlie Chaplin.
Okay, so the squash.
So the squash, really all we need is probably about a pound of this, and just feeling this out. This is more like 3 or 4 pounds, maybe even 5. So we're just going to cut it in half.
Easier said than done.
And then we're going to roast it. This might take a while.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll cut it in half. We'll put it in the oven at 400 for what, 40 minutes?
Yeah, about 40, 50 minutes, really, until it becomes soft and what?
This is the mustache.
He was the greatest comedian of his time.
Anyway, we'll put it in the oven and we'll be back when it's roasted.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to make our own pasta. It's just a nice step. Fresh pasta is always delicious to have, by the way, and it's very easy to make. But if you don't want to go through the trouble of doing it, you can definitely use store-made pasta. It's just going to be harder if you want the black pasta, like we're doing. So we're going to make...
I should just interject, we also have a hack. If you haven't seen our asparagus 3 ways when we made asparagus ravioli, there will be a link where's my hand? Right here. Let's put a link right there for our video so you can see another hack, but it won't, like Eric said, it won't be black.
Right. Now, when making your own pasta, like I said, it's very easy to do, but you do need a couple of things. You can do pasta by hand. You don't need a machine, but a machine will definitely help you out. We have a hand one. I've had this for years. It's fantastic to use. You could go the extra mile if you want and buy the attachment if you have a food processor.
Or a KitchenAid.
A food processor of some kind. They're really expensive and they don't do anything more than this does, so I'm just putting that out there. Unless the food processor company wants to send me one. So we're going to put our flour and salt mixture into a mixing bowl, okay? And then what we're going to do is just make a deep well, and add our 3 eggs in. Oh, I did that on purpose because I know Tianna loves when people crack eggs on bowls.
It's just, you're asking for salmonella at that point.
Salmonella. Oh, Did I get shells in there? Or is that flour?
That is for sure shells.
That's shells? Alright. No problem. You know what? This is, you just gotta roll with the punches. I'm not too worried.
Like a boss.
Now, at this point, we're going to add the food coloring onto the eggs. Now, you had a good point, Tianna, that dyeing food black is the hardest color to dye it.
It is. Typically, I know I bake a lot, and if I'm dyeing a cake black, I'll add cocoa powder to kind of help the process.
Right.
But that's gel. It's not really going to pour well.
Okay. So let's use...
So we're kind of just guessing at how much we'll need. We'll leave full weights and measurements down below. We typically, that's a lot. That's good. That's pure black food coloring. And I guess if we add it now and it's not dark enough, I mean, we will have opportunities to knead it into the dough.
That's
but
right. I was hoping to get some of this off up here. Also, you might want to maybe wear something that isn't a light color.
Like that?
Like this, when you're making it. Now, in this part, you don't want to rush it. So you're just going to beat your eggs up. And slowly incorporate the flour from the bottom and from the sides.
That's an interesting look.
Until it becomes a dough. You can use food processors for this, or stand mixers, but this way just gives you a really good feel for how the dough is coming together, because like I said, you don't want to rush this part and make your dough too floury or too... This looks great.
The black is really black, and I like...
Now don't be afraid, the eggs are getting a little bit goopy right now, and that's okay. You just want to keep going. Like, look at this. This is fantastic.
Definitely getting the Halloween feel, eh?
Yeah. And eventually, you're going to have to get in here and just do it by hand.
Now, note, if you are using food coloring and you get it on your skin, it is going to dye your skin. Oh, it's not focusing. I got some on my thumbnail there and it's all black now. So you're probably going to have to wash your hands several times. But you know what? In the end, when you have black and orange pasta, totally worth it, right?
Yeah, totally worth it. So after kneading the pasta for about 10 minutes or so, you see that we get this nice ball. And I know it doesn't look like a lot, but trust me, once it's rolled out for ravioli, that is a lot of pasta. And the color is just spot on. So what you're going to do now is just put it in a bowl. We're going to cover that up and let it rest for about half an hour or so. And that way, when just about the time that the squash is ready to come out of the oven and make our filling, this will be set and...
So we're going to make some clarified butter now. Really easy. You just add your unsalted butter to a pot. Really easy. Really easy. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly melt it, and then what's going to happen is the butter fat and the solids are going to separate, and so is the water, and you're going to start seeing foam on the surface. We're going to gently scoop off the foam, which is the proteins in the butter, and then we're going to strain it through a fine mesh sieve, and we'll be left with clarified butter. So we'll kind of follow along the process, and we'll come back when that's done, and then it'll be time to start making our filling and our pasta and getting everything together for our delicious, spooky ravioli. All right, so we've clarified our butter. We've just taken it from the heat. We're going to start the butter sauce. So first we add our sage leaves to a new pot or a new pan, and then we're going to strain our clarified butter as best we could. You can just see the extra solids kind of get trapped by the fine mesh sieve, so we'll move that off. And now we have a new pot with just sage and butter, and we've got this on a very low heat, and we're just kind of simmer it and get the sage to release all its flavor into the butter, and that will be our sauce essentially.
So our pumpkin squash is out of the oven. It's now nice and soft, as you can see. When you're looking for it to be done, you want your fork to be able to pierce it, you know, kind of like a done potato. Best analogy I can come up with. So when it's cool enough to handle, we're going to scoop out all of the flesh. We're going to put it into a food processor right there. And we're going to puree it until it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to add some ingredients to it, like our cheese, our nutmeg, some salt, and make our filling for our delicious Halloween ravioli. So let's get to it. Okay, so we've food processed this squash. It looks great. I mean, with that combined with the black pasta that we're going to roll out here in a few minutes, I think amazing. This is great for Halloween. So what we're going to add in now is our Parmesan cheese. We're going to add a little bit of salt. Okay, and this is going to be to taste. And we've ground up some nutmeg. And so we're just going to add, now remember that nutmeg is kind of strong, so you don't want a ton in. Weights and measurements are down below, and then some black pepper. Okay, so rolling out pasta, super easy to do. You want to make sure you have a clean work surface, which we have cleaned and disinfected this, and we're just going to use some flour, so that way your dough doesn't stick, and you just kind of want to lightly dust out on your work surface. You're also going to need a rolling pin. You can use whatever you want. Tianna didn't have one. This is mine. She had offered up a wine bottle. Would you laugh or not, you can use it. I'm sure that the Italians have probably done that once or twice.
See, wine is useful for so many reasons.
So you're going to flour your tools, all right? What we're also going to use is a pasta roller. This also has the cutting attachment, but since we're making ravioli, we're not going to be cutting the pasta. And if you've never used a pasta roller, again, really easy. Pasta goes in through here, you roll it, it comes out this side, and you step down the thicknesses. So you start at number 7, which is the thickest one, and you slowly work your way, and these wheels will come together and thin out your pasta. Finally, we're going to use a fancy pasta roller. Okay, and that's going to create that nice, what would you call that? Like
crimped edge, maybe?
Crimped edge, yeah. Kind of reminds me of a ruffle potato chip. So, let's get to it. Now
that black pasta, by the way, is, I'm just going to move this, it turned out so well.
So, your pasta's rested.
Thanks for the commentary on that, by the way.
Fantastic. And we're just going to roll this out into a sheet. We're also going to cut this sheet up into, you're probably going to get maybe 2 or 3 out of this. Well, probably 2. And really what we're looking for here is something just to get the thickness down so that way it can go through the pasta roller. Well, we're all finished. Delicious meal. It looks fantastic, tastes even better, and I think a really sophisticated Halloween dish.
You can definitely do cupcakes anytime, but this spot.
If you're looking to impress a special somebody on a romantic Halloween date, pasta. Ravioli. Pumpkin.
Sage butter sauce. Fancy.
That's
I've run out of things. Yeah. Remember, if you like this video, like it down below.
Hey,
you can also subscribe. You can comment down below. Let us know what you think. Tell us what you're going to be for Halloween. And I guess all that's left is
to table it.